What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the next segment of For the Love of the Game podcast. I'm Tim. Thank y'all for tuning in. As always, I'm on the road again. Detroit. Come on, Detroit. I was rooting for y'all last night, man, against the Boston Celtics, man. I thought this was going to be that third win for y'all, but instead it's the 28th consecutive loss in a row. This video was going to be totally different, man. At first, it was going to be top 5 reasons the Detroit Pistons are at the bottom of the league right now. Then I started watching the game. I'm like, wait a minute. This is going to be a whole new video. They about to beat the Celtics, right? But no, that's not what happened. Turned the game on in the first half. They was giving it to the Celtics. Cade Cunningham was going crazy. Had 22 in the first half, and they playing with that aggression, that effort that it takes to win in the league. Talent or not, veterans or not, whoever you are, that's how you got to play to win. So I'm like, okay, now we're gonna have to see if they can sustain it. And you're looking at the Celtics, they was playing down to their competition. That was clear to see. Like, come on, like they're way more talented, way more veteran leadership. Like they got way bigger goals. So. But even still, they built up a 19-point lead by halftime. Cade Cunningham had 22, and it seemed like the game was in their hands at that point. But as always, there's a second half, and in the second half, the team that's down, they're going to make their run, and then we're going to see what happens. So that's exactly what took place. Boston Celtics came out in the third quarter, killed that 19-point lead as if it never existed. Now, the way it looked to me, because a lot of times when teams go up and they get a big lead, they play not to lose as opposed to continuing to play to win. I didn't see that with Detroit. They continued to play hard. They continued to fight. The game went into overtime, and eventually they lost the game. But the facts just revealed themselves, right? The second half, Celtics came out. They stopped playing down to the competition. They played up to themselves and closed the gap and eventually won the game. But Detroit, they couldn't raise their level of play. It was already raised from the beginning. They had a good effort the first 24 minutes of the game. They just couldn't raise their level of effort and energy another notch to close out the game. And Cade Cunningham, like his first half was beautiful. He had 22 points. I think in the game he ended up with 31, 6, and 9 assists. But that second half, he only had 9 points. In the first half, he was being super aggressive. And then in the second half, of course, Boston probably made adjustments, but still, got to keep that energy and effort up. And I just saw it was a different Cade Cunningham in the second half. Bogdanovich, if that's how you say his name, I don't know, but he was trying to keep him in the game. He was shooting like crazy, and he was actually one of the reasons they probably stayed in the game with he made some timely shots. Jaden Ivey, he had 22 and 10. So if anything, they don't have any more excuses. I mean, they've had some competitive games, but I think this game in particular, and this is one of those tough ones to lose when, you're in control of the game for most of the game, and then the lead whittles down and you lose it at the end like that. So I know, and it's the 28th loss, so it's a tough one, but they have a foundation now. No excuses. This is how we have to play to win. And if you play like that, and Kenny Smith on TNT says it all the time, energy and effort. Everything else goes wrong. These are the two things that you can always control. Your shot is off. This is not going right. That's not going right. Your energy and effort is always something that you can control. So they don't have any excuses going forward to not play like this every night and get some. They're good enough to get wins. They're like the 8th youngest team in the NBA. The rest of the younger teams, they have way more talent. And then, of course, you have the veteran teams. But it's still an NBA. They have Cade. They have Jaden Ivey. What's the center's name? I think it's Jalen Duren, I think. He's averaging a double-double. Like, they have enough to win games. So then the next eyes are going to start going on Monty Williams. I mean, they just signed him to that large contract. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I think it was for like $78 million, which was the largest contract for a coach at that time. But it's on him now. It's on him. And I don't know what type of schemes they're running, what type of X and O's they're doing in the locker room. It just kind of looks like they're playing a lot of times. I don't know. Are they playing? Are they going to go through Cade? Like, what type of system are they running? And to hear Cade Cunningham, he said after the game, he was like, they're just trying to figure out who they are, how they want to play. And when I hear that, I look directly at the coach. You're supposed to have systems in place. You're supposed to have sets to run. Your point guard shouldn't be questioning who the team is and what you're trying to do. So this is going to fall back on Monty Williams. They have a template now. Energy, effort, and now you can just come up with some plays to run, because it kind of just seemed like they was out there, right? So now it's going to be on Monty Williams to make sure that the energy and effort stays up. I don't know that they're going to fire him. They just signed him to that large contract, so that remains to be seen. And they're saying that the Detroit Pistons are now tied for the most consecutive losses, but no, the record is theirs. It was the Philadelphia 76ers from, I think, 2016. They counted a record from the previous season. I think they lost 10 games at the end of the year and then lost the first 18 going into the next year. Nah, that's not a streak. The Detroit Pistons are now the most losing, the team who's lost the most consecutive losses in a season. 28 right now. They got a game on Saturday against the Raptors. So we're gonna see what happens. But I was rooting for him last night, and that one hurt me. So let me know what y'all think, man. Think Saturday is gonna be the day they can finally pull out a win? There's no excuses. And Cade Cunningham is nice too. Cade is nice. They got no excuses, man. They can pull it out. Hopefully they'll do it on Saturday. Thank y'all for tuning in again as always. I'll see you on the next one. For the love of the game.